right, it finally happened. If you live in Colorado, it's kind of normal, but I need to get my windshield replaced. So I am on my way now to Safe Lights, and because that's who my insurance company uses, and I'm gonna get my windshield replaced through there. Now, whenever you get your windshield replaced, you don't actually have to go to the particular service shop that they recommend. Just my insurance company makes it a little bit easier if you do that. And so yeah, if you look here, I'll show you. Man, this is crazy. Look at how big this crack is. Look at how big this crack is. This is crazy. So, and then it kind of started from right there in the middle. And normally during the winter, if it starts cracking, I don't personally get it replaced right away unless it's in my line of sight. Not necessarily what I recommend, it's just what I typically do. But what's interesting about this situation is I was actually going to get that little chip fixed, and while I was on my way to get it fixed, it was super cold that day and it just cracked. So basically something hit the windshield, and then it had a little bitty chip in there right where it started, and then almost right away it just cracked. So I didn't really have enough time to get that chip fixed, and it just cracked the whole thing. The other thing that was happening with the windshield, which happens a lot here in Colorado, is there were a lot of little pits. I guess it could have been from around the same incident, I don't know, but there's a lot of little pits like in the window, like from like sandblasting, or just, I call it sandblasting, but there's just a lot of stuff on the roads, a lot of sand, a lot of just junk on the roads. And you know, I've had this windshield now for 3 years, and honestly, typically there are several people that basically change their windshield every year. That's not what happens with me. It's about every 2 to 3 years that I'll have to change my windshield. The downside to this, though, I'll show you up here. Those of you that know, Ford puts 75th anniversary emblem on the top of the windshield, you know, to commemorate the 2023 model vehicles. They're the 75th anniversary models of the F-Series pickup, not of the F-150, but of the F-Series pickups. So they put those windshields on there. My hope is that they already have something like that, but I doubt that they will. The other thing that they say they do, you know, I have a toll tag up there, and then I also have the dash cam, so they should be able to just install everything back and get it calibrated and everything. So that's gonna be really good. But I wanted to get on here and tell you guys, don't delay. If you need to get your windshield replaced, go ahead and do that. If you have insurance, which you should, on your truck especially, like I always have like the comprehensive deductible, because here in Colorado it's just a lot of junk on the roads, or like there's hail, there's weather, all that kind of stuff. I like to keep my deductible at $250. This time for some reason, maybe whenever I adjusted the insurance plan, it ended up being $500, but that's okay. So we're gonna end up paying only $500, and supposedly this is a very expensive windshield. So I'm gonna ask them whenever I'm there, and then I'll do a little follow-up with you and just see how clean and clear it is. I also have them or Discount Tire replace my windshield wipers. I know you can go to AutoZone or an auto parts store and get those done, but I always like to get it, like I said, at either a Discount Tire, which that's fairly new, or if you have to get your windshield replaced, it just seems to be a good timing, you know, because it happens so often. Or if I get my windshield fixed, usually there's like rock chips and everything like that. But yeah, I live here in Colorado Springs, and those of you that don't know, I have a 2023 F150 Lightning Lariat, and I have BlueCruise. If you can't tell, you're like, hey, your hand's not on the steering wheel, but your truck's moving. That's because I have BlueCruise, and it's really, really awesome. I love BlueCruise, especially when it, you know, when I'm on trips and stuff like that. So check out some other videos that I've posted about BlueCruise and, you know, the update that just came and the issues with that. But yeah, it still does not work for me, changing lanes basically. And it wasn't working at all for a little bit, but it turns out I had to replace my 12-volt battery. So check out that video too. And yeah, let's go ahead and get over here to Safelite, and then we will have them fix it, and I'll get back on after they're done. We'll see what they say and how it looks and everything like that. So look at that brand new windshield. Look at that. Look at that. And look what I ended up getting right there. I ended up getting one with the 75 on it. And there's no blue tape, they said, because with some of these, they're able to put pins in up there and holds it in place, and so they don't need the tape. That's pretty cool. Thank you, Safelite, for doing a good job. Man, my truck is awesome. Look at this. What a great truck. What a beautiful truck. Alrighty, guys, I'm excited. I just left Safelite and got my new windshield, and it is awesome. Everything worked out great. Actually worked out better than I expected. Just look how great this windshield looks. This is awesome. It's really nice to not have a big, huge crack in your windshield. So, but the thing that worked out great, look at what I ended up getting. If you look up there, there's a 75 right there. I didn't think I'd be able to get a windshield with the 75 because of the way insurance works and everything like that. But turns out I was able to. And so that's awesome. That's pretty cool. So let me tell you though, how to do that. I'll give you a little tip and trick whenever you're going to do get your windshield done. There's Safelite companies all over the world, or I mean all over the US at least. I don't know if they're all over the world or not, but there's those types of companies. Windshield replacement insurance works directly with them. But in the app on my insurance company, they did not give me an option for OEM glass. And that's what you have to ask for, especially in my case. I wanted Ford glass in order to get that 75 on there again. I just thought that's kind of cool. It's like a little badging. Now it doesn't have the little Ford oval logo in the bottom corner, but it does have the 75 on there, so that's pretty cool. And I was excited. So what I did is I just went in there and I asked them. So when I scheduled my appointment, when I showed up for the appointment, I asked them, hey, you know, can I go ahead and get the Ford glass? And they're like, yeah, let's look it up. And it doesn't work every time, they said, but in this case, it just happened to be actually about the same price as the regular glass. And so they submitted the request to do that with the insurance company, and, you know, within a day or so, insurance company approved. So that's what you have to do. But you don't need to wait till your appointment. Just call them wherever you schedule and have them and ask them, tell them, hey, this is the claim. So you could schedule the appointment further out if you want. And then like that, right after you schedule the appointment, you'll know the location and number, obviously, and you just call them and have them put in that request if your app does not give you the option. So that's kind of how I did it with, you know, reporting it in and all that kind of stuff. So the other thing I was going to point out that was really cool about this service is I didn't even know this existed, but you know how normally you get a new windshield, there's like these really ugly 2 blue pieces of tape and you can't remove it for like 24 hours or whatever it is. So they actually have a new little thing that they do with some windshields, because, and this is one of them, where they have some type of pins towards the top, and they and those pins actually hold the windshield in place. So that's why the blue tape is normally there, because the windshield is still setting and they don't want the windshield can't really move around at all, so that's why they need the tape on there. But the pins are there, and they're like, the only thing, you don't need to wash your vehicle for a couple days. Well, I'm not going to anyways. I mean, it's below freezing, and I don't think you could tell, but maybe a little bit. It actually started snowing today. So what happened with all of the OEM stuff and everything like that is I showed up for my appointment, and then I ended up having to leave. Like, I asked them for the OEM glass. They're like, yeah, sure. And they rescheduled my appointment for a later time, as soon as the insurance company called them back and everything. That's why I said what I recommend is you call them, you schedule an appointment for further out, like 2 or 3 days out, probably almost a week out, unless you really, really need to get it replaced right away. But then call them, make sure they can get the OEM glass in, and you're good to go. You can obviously do it at pretty much any place. I did go talk to Ford. They would do it, but it would take like a week or two to get the glass in for them. So I just stuck with Safelite, and it worked out pretty well. So anyways, well, thank you for joining me on my fixing glass adventure. But I was really excited. So I think that, more than anything with this video, like, if you're hesitant, like if you actually have like little pits in your windshield, a big crack like mine, and you're hesitant about actually, getting it replaced because the badging is up there, you don't need to be concerned about it, because you could just ask for the OEM glass, and they should be able to give that to you. You have to negotiate it with the insurance company. In my case, it was about the same price. I can't guarantee prices everywhere. I'm pretty sure Colorado is one of the cheaper places to actually get windshields replaced, because there's so many and there's so many places. But yeah, just make sure that you ask for that. I'm excited that I was able to get that, and now I don't feel like I just have this inferior glass on the window. This one came with the badging, and that's important. I think I had said earlier something about telling y'all the cost of everything. I like to communicate that anyways. I actually have a $500 deductible on comprehensive. I normally have $250, but something happened when we changed the plans where it was a $500, but that's okay. So I did have to pay that, and then I got some new windshield wipers, because I like to do that whenever I change windshields, or sometimes whenever I get the tires balanced, a rotated discount tire, I'll do it if I need it. But then, so the total was about $568 for me, but the total replacement cost of the windshield on the receipt was just under $1,200 if you take off the windshield wipers. So it was $1,253 adding in the windshield wipers. That's the total cost if I paid cash for it. So not bad. I thought that they were going to be thousands of dollars to do this, so it wasn't that bad. But I just thought I'd mention to you in case you're curious what the cost was. So anyways, I appreciate you guys for watching. Please subscribe to the channel. If you're already subscribing, I encourage you to, if you're not a member already, become a member, and that helps me support doing these videos. And I just think, man, it's just awesome being able to connect with you guys. And then, if you're a member though too, you can see these videos early. And whenever I get some merch, this is not necessarily merch that I have yet, but I'm going to get some Lightning Mike shirts eventually, and, some other stuff. And I think it'll be fun. But I do have links on there where you can go get some similar, it's not exactly the same hat or exactly the same shirt, but, there's, you could still get a similar ones. So I have some links on there where you can go get those, and I think I get some type of little affiliate kickback whenever you go through my link and stuff. So, but all of that helps me do these videos, and taking the time to do that. But I really enjoy it. And those of you that have Lightnings, man, I know you enjoy your Lightning too. And man, let's connect. Put in the comments. I respond to almost every comment. Like, there's some that I may miss because you may be responding to somebody else, and then I may miss that one, but I'm sorry if I do. But yeah, comment. I'd love to connect with you. I also have You know, I have Facebook, X, Instagram, even TikTok, and we can even connect on all of those too. So I appreciate you guys. Thank you for watching, and I will see you on the next video.